How you guys doing? You haven't seen me in a long time. I'm the one, the only, number one blogger. You already know what it is, man. Junior man, all day, every day. I just recently finished watching the Richard Commey and Loma fight. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna chop it up. We're gonna have our special guest El Selector. But what we're definitely gonna do first, before we get into anything, is we're gonna do the 30-second countdown. Then after the 30-second countdown, yeah, we're gonna get into this. Hello, wherever you guys are listening from, watching, all that good stuff. See you guys soon. How you guys doing? This is number one blogger. Welcome to my show. Right now, we talking boxing. You guys never heard me talk about boxing on this channel before, but I said, hey, today is the day. Richard Commey in one corner and Vasily Lomachenko. It was a 12-round fight. It wasn't a championship fight. Even more interesting, Tyson Fury even made a special guest appearance. But we're going to get into that. Just as I said, I have a special guest coming through by the name of El Selector. He always comes through. You know, he really drops the bombs. He's definitely the resident boxing analyst and also the brains of boxing. So, yeah, as it happened, Vasily Lomachenko, Richard Commey. It was a 12-round fight. What I definitely will say is analytics of it. The analytics of this match, you could really tell that Lomachenko was actually analyzing his opponent, as in Richard Commey. The first two rounds, I see it was more like, what's this guy's style? What does he do? What will I have the ability to do to basically take this fight into my hands? After that, I felt like it was downward from there. Like downward in a sense where Lomachenko took charge of the whole match. Shout out to the Ukrainian boxer. There was definitely a lot of Ukrainians in MSG tonight. New York, you know what it is. Yeah, you can definitely tell that he took control of the match, literally from round 3 all the way down. He also even knocked Commey to the ground in round 7. But, you know, Commey, that guy, salute to him, man. Ukuma pima pimbaba. For all you guys that don't know that saying, it basically is if you kill 1,000, 1,000 will come. So keep on killing. Commey refused to lie down. He made sure he's like, you know what? I have the pride of my country. I also have the pride of the children of my country. So I'm not going to go down that easy. Made sure it went all the way to 12 rounds. Commey honestly put up a good fight. Yes, he didn't end up, winning this match, but, he stuck his head in there. He did what he had to do. Lomachenko got the unanimous in the decision after the 12th round. Another thing that I'll definitely say is you can tell it was two different styles. One style by Lomachenko was more the angling and all that stuff. But more so, actually, was it even more the angling? It was more the lateral stance versus Commey had a wider stance. And from that, I just seen that as the match wore on, Lomachenko got inside and he was doing damage on Commey. On the other side of things, I felt like through the whole match, Commey was still trying to find himself. And when I say by find himself, I felt like he was just doing a lot of wild punches. He had a lot of punches, but a lot weren't landing. On the other side with Lomachenko, he was landing a lot of punches. Right now, guys, El Selector's in the building. I'm actually going to bring him on. We're going to get more into the analyticals. He's definitely the resident boxing analyst. So we're going to bring him in right now. Hey,
Yes.
man, how are you tonight, man?
Yo, thanks for having me. I'm doing good still, enjoyed an excellent night of boxing, excellent night, man. Salute to our guy, salute to our guy Richard Coleman first and foremost. That's our brother out there. We rocking with him. You definitely got a team out there. So you already know we're out here on the internet, these internet streets representing. Shouts to our guy Richard Coleman. Definitely in for a rough one tonight with Coleman. He was facing a great fighter. Listen, hey, there's great fighters. Hey, you're not going to win every night, but this was the more tactical fighter. Two-time Olympic gold medalist, decorated
Yep.
amateur career. Comey was going up against a three division weight champion, almost three. He had three titles as well, three title weight champion. Sorry at that, three title weight champion. There was a whole lot Comey was going up against tonight, but um, as far as the fight goes, I gave Richard Comey the first round. I thought Comey had the better work rate. I thought he did his job. He did what he had to do. I thought Comey was the better fighter at the end of the day in the first round. Second round came, Comey definitely did some work, but Lomachenko was the better fighter in the second round. And virtually it carried on throughout the whole entire fight. That seventh round was controversial to some degree. Lomachenko had dropped him. Comey stated that he took his eye off him for a second. Lomachenko caught him with a good one. And then basically that put him on the canvas.
Close range.
Yeah, close range. He didn't see the punch coming. And that's what happens, hey, you gotta, in boxing, you never know. It's the one you don't see that's gonna get you. Or you thought you might have seen something else, but then something else hits you. That's how it sometimes goes. Like overall, though, Comey's corner did the right thing. Didn't stop the fight, even though his leg was all wobbly and shaky.
Yeah, he was very wobbly.
Yeah, he had the stanky leg running around for a second, but
With his stanky leg.
But then he got up. He figured it out. His equilibrium was all over the place. That happens. When you get caught off guard. But hey, he continued, man. He continued, man. He continued, and yeah, he did his thing, man. So
Definitely El Selector. Just like you said, what I'd like to add, you can tell the first two rounds was for Commey, and it was all the way downhill after that.
yeah,
On top of that, we are talking about styles. And
yeah,
I'm not somebody that is deeply invested into boxing, but I'll definitely say that I definitely seen some things. And what I seen was the two styles did not complement each other. I felt like Lomachenko had a style that gave him the upper hand in this fight versus Comey's style. Even when you get down to the stance, I felt like Comey's stance was much wider, where Lomachenko's stance was actually much closer, and I felt that he had more leverage in the fight. Can you really break down that part of the fight for me?
yeah, definitely. Lomachenko fights with a lot of angles. He does an excellent job of fighting with the angles. He uses. I wouldn't say he's a great backwards fighter because he's not. He's not. I've seen better back fighters who could fight off their back foot. You know what I mean? And going
But
back.
he did well coming out of the corner and putting Coleman in
Yeah,
the corner. Remember that one?
and that was with the angle standpoint. He was able to. He knows how he can cut off the opponent's ring. He can cut off the angles. He's very elusive in the ring. So
Mm.
he knows how to drop it off, and he knows how to cut through the angles. Like it's like he almost knows he's excellent at doing like the V shape angle. If you could just like understand what I mean by V shape.
Mhm.
I mean, he could do the V shape angle exactly. So he comes in there, he does a lot of that stuff as well. So a lot of fighters kind of have issues with that. And then on top of that too, he's very elusive. He has good head movement, good lateral movement. He knows when to duck punches, when he knows how he anticipates a lot of punches when they're coming. He also fights with his hands up too, which is another plus side. So because of the fact that he fights with his hands up, he has great movement. A lot of times, a lot of punches either straight up just miss him or it hits his gloves, hits his arm, his gloves or his arms. So he blocks the punches. You see what I'm saying? So he's really good at that as well. Vasily Lomachenko styles make fights. Richard Comey is
Mhm.
more of a slug it out, back and forth, action packed type style fighter.
Oh, telephone booth type of.
Almost, yeah, to the point where telephone booth, he could push it out a bit because he does have a long wide. He does have a long. He has reach. So he's not the hardcore fella boom booth guys like some of these Mexican boxers be doing, bro.
Mhm.
Where it's just like, bro, it's like literally the whole entire fight is in the inside. No facts. Everybody's just straight haymaker, straight in the yeah. But he does do the phone booth. He is known for he does do that, but he also has a little bit of he has reach, so he could fight with a little bit of reach going out across from his opponent, so he could fight with reach. But the problem is, I think just the Lomachenko style, maybe a style he's maybe never seen or could have potentially seen, but not at that level. And I think that played a huge indication on why Lomachenko was very successful tonight because I think Richard Comey just couldn't catch him, couldn't find him.
Yeah, he couldn't.
Yeah, and that was playing a
He
huge
was looking
problem.
for the big haymakers, and
Hmm.
I noticed Commey didn't even land one. And to me,
Exactly,
honestly, that was alarming to me, knowing
exactly,
how Comey's style is.
exactly. And I think that played a huge role in Lomachenko's victory tonight because of the fact that he has that situation.
He
Richard,
subdued him,
mhm,
basically.
exactly. You nailed it. And that's exactly what he did. Lomachenko's Lomachenko at the end of the day, man. Like we did see him lose to a Tiafimo Lopez, and we did see him lose
But
prior
did
to
you hear what
Tiafimo.
happened?
Hmm. What
From
happened?
what the commentators were saying is the reason why he lost that match is they said through the first few rounds he was cruising simply because he said he didn't want to test the shoulder, that he was afraid that his shoulder was going to go out, and then he started working in the later rounds, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah, okay. To
But
me,
people call bullshit on that. Just so you
I call BS on that. I think he's just trying to find a way. He's finding an excuse because he realizes he did not do that well tonight. At that night, he definitely wasn't throwing as many. I think he feared his power, Teofimo Lopez's power, because Teofimo Lopez does have power, so he wasn't too sure if he was gonna get knocked out by his power.
so he
So
wanted to be careful.
he was fighting very extra safe. But by then he realized, okay, you know what? I just let like 6 rounds go by. Now I'm in trouble. So he started. Then he
You
started to
can't
pick
let
it up.
six go by like that,
That's what
bro.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's basically exactly what he did. So then he's like, okay, I'm in trouble. So he started to pick it up, and he picked it up, picked it up, picked it up. By the time you know it, he finally got he got enough. He picked it up, but by then it was just too late. He lost the fight. So that's what happens in boxing, bro. Like yo, boxing, man. The sweet science, man. Anything judges, you may see it one way, we may see it a different way. The judges see it something else. You see what I'm saying? So it's just
Hmm.
like boxing is that kind of sport, man. You know what I mean? As far as what I saw also from Lomachenko too, I did see good ring tendencies. I did see good stuff in the ring. You see what I'm saying? Like I did see some good stuff in the ring, as far as his abilities and stuff like that. That I really liked a lot. I actually appreciated. I thought it was really good. Some stuff he
Very
did.
technically sound from what I saw.
Exactly.
Very. I was
Very
impressed.
skilled. Very skilled. Technically sound, like my guy G&H said. Number one blogger said, like the style that he played, and the technique was impeccable. Like it was really good. You could see this is a guy who spends a lot of time in the gym. Richard Comey is a freaking world class fighter, man. Like IBF champion. Like dude fought some of the most classic fights we've seen on in the boxing game, and even fighting against Lomachenko, there was still he you could see the difference in the skills and the difference in styles, and I think that played
Yeah.
a huge bout tonight.
I mean, and you also got to look at Richard Commey is no slouch because this guy came into this fight 30-3, 27 KOs.
Hmm.
So the majority of his fights, he literally knocked dudes on their back. Yeah,
Hmm.
he's 30-4 now, but again, I think definitely he's gonna come back and do greater things. The way I look at it, it could be different to other people. Is that when you lose a fight, I think the best thing to do, like everybody does, analyze it. What do you need to do? What are things you need to be better on? What can you add to your acumen? Personally, for me, I think it's a good thing that he got a fighter like this because going forward, the thing is, you can't be winning all the time. Losses will definitely show you and say, yo, shit needs to change. The reason why I say this too is I think now Comey realizes, or even his trainer realizes, hey, let me develop my angle game. Let me see if I'm gonna get better at it. Don't use it in newer fights, but take your time to develop it. And then when you've developed it to a point, then you can add that to your game. L Selector, how do you feel about that comment?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. You know, people. A lot of people out here, we understand he lost, but don't press the panic button. Richard Comey definitely will be back. Also, too, Richard Comey isn't moving that far along in the rankings, so he's up there. He's still going to be
He's
there.
number 9. I
Yeah,
guess
he's number 9.
Lomachenko's number 2.
Exactly. And this performance, too, with a lot of guys leaving rankings, too, I don't see him. A lot of guys are going to be leaving the rankings. I don't see him like drastically getting pushed out of the rankings. He'll probably even stay around where he's at. So he's a good fighter, man. He's a good fighter. As far as what he has to do next, he can still fight in the circuit. And I mean, there's a lot of tons of fights that are available for him in the circuit. So he could go up and down. He'll get a couple fights just to get his in 20, expect to see him probably early 2022. No later than the spring, he should be back. He'll be back in there fighting guys. You know what I mean? All you remember is boxing. Just one or two, one win, 1 or 2 wins. You'll be right back in the title fight again. You see what I'm saying? Especially when you're high up in the
Mhm.
rankings. He has great promotional team as well. I believe he's with Lou DiBella, and he
Mhm.
does stuff with ESPN and Top Rank as well. So he's not going anywhere, man. He's gonna be here for the long game, bro. You know, top, one of the top African fighters in the world. You see what I'm saying? Like he's one of the top tier guys out here. You see what I'm saying? Like Comey's good, man. Comey will put any guy to sleep, man.
Mhm.
I put my money on that. So a lot of people run around saying, "Oh, he got battered, he got outclassed, he was humiliated."
But
Nah, the
it's
fight was
Lomachenko, dude.
first and
Two-time
foremost,
gold
it was
medalist.
yeah, it was 2 time gold medalist Lomachenko, and on top of that too, let's be real, there wasn't that much. There was some distance. You saw a far distance in skill, but at the same time, though, he still
Coleman
held his
held his
own.
own. He still held his own,
Exactly.
even almost getting knocked out in the 7th round.
Exactly.
Almost
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. Almost. Yeah. Well, knocked down, but not. Yeah. Yeah.
knocked down,
Almost
but not
TKO'd.
TKO.
Yeah. Exactly.
How
So
many
you know what I
guys
mean.
can say that though?
Exactly. So yo, we'll see Comey back, man. Well, I know we'll see Comey back in fashionable style. You see what I'm saying? As far as Lomachenko goes, we gotta talk about Loma real quickly. What's next for Lomachenko? The fight between Tiafimo, Tika fight Tiafimo. Well, Tiafimo, I'm hearing may be gone. His career might be ended because he's having
Ooh.
some problems with his lungs and stuff
Oh,
like that. Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. That could be another excuse. He could just be faking it. Who knows? But
nah.
yeah. Um, Also, he wants to fight George Kambosos. I think that fight could potentially happen, but I think George Kambosos needs to do the right thing and fight Devin Haney
Mhm.
because Devin Haney is the WBC champion, and him and Devin Haney would fight for undisputed, and we'll figure out who the hell the real belt maker is. If he was a smart man, if I was a betting man with George Kambosos, if you go fight Devin Haney, you could fight him in Australia, fill up a stadium of 80,000 people. What they're going to expect to do, 80,000. Devin Haney never been to Australia before,
Mhm.
so it'd be new territory for Devin Haney. I think Devin Haney has fought around the world. He has fought in Mexico in the past. You know, he
Mhm.
started. Remember, people don't realize Devin Haney was a kid. He was basically a high schooler fighting in Mexico. You see what I'm saying?
Oh shit! So he learned the
Yeah,
ropes very well.
he went pro at like 16, 17. So like,
So he even bypassed the Olympics. He said,
exactly. Yeah, he said F the Olympics. Yeah, he's like, yo, man, I need to go. And he wasn't making no money. He said I was making like $2,000 a fight and all that, yo. And bro, voila, 20. How old is he now? 23, and he's WBC champion. And
"Salute to him."
yeah, bro, WBC champion. And basically, yo, he's he's about to potentially fight George Kambosos. You know what I mean? Devin Haney's fought a lot of guys. You know, he's fought a lot of. It's great too to see Haney because he's fought a lot of international guys. He
Mhm.
fought guys from Mexico, Puerto Rico, Uganda, South Africa, United States. You know what I mean? Russia. You know what I mean? He's fought guys from Cuba, Dominican Republic, Colombia. So he's fought all types of international fighters. So it's nothing for him to actually travel over there. I think Devin Haney and George Kambosos would be the better fight for Lomachenko. I think he should fight either Tank or maybe Jojo Diaz or even maybe Pitbull Cruz, bro. Isaac, and then wait because Devin Haney's gonna eventually drop the belts. He'll drop. I think he'll go undisputed. He's blowing up in weight, so he wants to get to 140. You could tell he's struggling. He's a big guy, man. He's struggling to get to 135. So he's like, let me just get to 140, fight at a comfortable weight there. So I think he wants to go undisputed. George Kambosos will be around. He's sticking around at that division. He ain't gonna leave that division. So I
Mhm.
think once Devin Haney fights George Kambosos, the belts will he'll immediately vacate the belts that gives potential for guys like George Kambosos, uh, 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 Isaac Pitbull Cruz,
Mhm.
Devin, Tank Davis, and what's it called? What's his name over here? Lomachenko, to compete for those vacant belts. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So that could potentially happen, or maybe Kambosos just beats Devin Haney. You know what I mean? So
Remember, the man said Lomachenko said he's not looking for two belts; he's looking for four belts.
exactly. So that's the thing. There is that. It just all depends. It depends where Kambosos goes. Kambosos could fight Lomachenko next. He could fight Devin next, or he could fight Tank next, or he could even do a Ryan Garcia next.
Mhm.
The world, but ideally, the smartest move is to fight Devin Haney next, just because you have three of those belts. Devin, you have also the franchise belt. Devin Haney has the WBC belt. So the four belts, you would eventually you would fight for the four. You'd be the official undisputed boxing champion.
I have two questions for you. I want to
Yeah.
bring it back to Commey. Now, seeing Commey has realized that somebody has basically neutralized his power shots,
Mm-hmm.
and he's experiencing a little adversity. Do you think now he's gonna go back in the lab with his trainer and try to deal with those situations as to, okay, if my power shots are not landing, what could I possibly do to have the ability to have power shots or have a few things in my toolbox for that
That's
matter?
the thing. So like for Richard Coleman, it's not the first time he's lost.
Hmm.
He lost to Robert Eastern. Some argue Robert Eastern he lost for the IBF vacant belt, lightweight belt for Robert Eastern. Some argue that he basically it was a split decision loss to Denis Shloshvich in Russia, and some can argue that he won that fight. I mean, he could have been. Some people say he got robbed. I mean, against Dennis in Russia. You see what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, he came back, he did the fight in that crowd, you know what I mean? He beat Heidi Seaman, you know what I mean? And then, you know what I mean, he ended up getting his IBF against another Russian guy, Isis Chauchi or whatever his name is, or Chachain or whatever. And then I remember he fought Ray Batron on, I think it was ESPN they fought. I remember that fight, and he
Hmm.
beat him too. He beat him too, and he retained his title, and then he lost his title to Teofimo Lopez. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
He ended up fighting, what's his name, Jackson Marnez, and he beat Jackson back on February 2021, and then he fought Vasily Lomachenko. So he lost that. So he's already lost in the past. As
Hmm.
far as what he'll do to change it up, styles make fights, right? Let's be real. I'm sure
As
the
you
next
said
guy he
before.
fights, the next guy he fights is not going to fight like Lomachenko. Lomachenko is like a
No,
one
there's
off.
no way.
Stylistically, he's a one off. He's not going to see Lomachenko or anything close to Lomachenko in his next fight. So he'll definitely, if he fights Lomachenko again, could potentially happen depending on how the whole belt situation works. He could come back and he could fight Lomachenko again. You see what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so Richard Cooley, in my opinion, the world the there's a lot for Richard Comey still. I think Richard Comey's in a good place as far as management, promotional, and broadcasting goes. A lot of boxers around the world would kill for what Richard Comey has right now. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I actually wanted to even add, but you're already
Mhm.
answering it. Like, basically, from here, what do you feel that's next for Richard Coleman? Like, what's the next step? Like, how do you feel about,
Mhm.
right now where Coleman is?
Right now, I think he's in a good place, man. I think he has good promotional team. He has promotional team that's by his side. I think he has potential to he's gonna obviously fight in next fight. You know what I mean? Build up. You know what I mean? A
Hmm.
showcase fight, maybe a showcase fight, maybe then a tune up fight as well. Tune up and then a showcase fight, and then he'll probably go for another belt as well. He's in that mix. He's in that mix, or he might fight a bunch of fights, maybe three fights. I could see maybe three wins. If he gets an instant three wins, he should be able to go be up for another belt fight.
Okay.
Mhm.
Because the thing is, even they reported via the commentators that his wife actually just came into the country not too long ago. So most definitely, like, Comey is not definitely just going to be fighting for the children of Ghana, his people of Ghana. Definitely now he has his wife in his corner. Will definitely give him more inspiration.
Definitely, definitely. Salute to his wife, yo. Honestly, you know what I mean? I know it's probably the first time seeing him fight live in the United States there. So definitely
Yeah,
shout
she was
supporting
actually at
him.
the fight.
Yep. Salute to Comey, bro. And the wife, bro. Honestly, like it's a blessing. I mean, Comey's a good fighter, man. You know what I mean? He's a true boxer, you know what I mean? He's a boxer, you know. You know what I mean? Best African fighter in North American soil. So, you know, salute to our guy Richard Coleman. I mean, there's a lot of fights, man. He could fight even Custio Clayton, you know what I mean? Nova Scotia's finest. You know what I'm saying? Custio Clayton.
Mm.
Oh, well, you know what, actually? Nah, not really, because Custio's at 147, Comey's at 135. Comey would have to move up a
Oh
couple weight
yeah, so he's
classes.
gonna have to.
Yeah.
What?
But there's a lot of even Canadian fighters he could fight, but he's not going to do that. He's going to stay with the in that circuit over there. Probably fight some guys up in the East Coast, along the East Coast. Maybe some fighters over there. Maybe they'll bring a couple Caribbean guys. He'll bash with. You know what I mean, I just hope they don't use him as a because sometimes boxing can be cold like this, where they could use him as a gatekeeper. And
Mhm.
I don't want Comey to be a gatekeeper. I want Comey to be able to at least get out. Well, you know what? Hey, sometimes in life, they give you that gatekeeper. They want to give you that gatekeeper role. You you defeat the guy and you know what I mean. You beat him. That's it. You know what I mean, you're on. I've seen that happen in boxing in the past. Guys they'll be saying this guy. They'll try to gatekeep a guy, and then all of a sudden, boom, the same guy that they expect to win ends up getting knocked out.
Mm.
Hmm.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys. This is L Selector and number one blogger. We just brought you the post-fight match reaction of Lomachenko versus Richard Commey. Richard Commey lost this fight, basically via unanimous decision to Lomachenko. He was knocked out for in the seventh round, but he still stayed strong. And your boy came through to round 12. He definitely got the respect of Lomachenko and the Ukrainian fans. And definitely, just as our selector said, this fight is not going to hinder him from anything. He's still going far ahead. I mean, he has 31 something wins, 30 something wins. On top of that, 27 KOs. I mean, Lomachenko is a legend in this sport, as we all know. So to even take an L like that, it's not like he took a knockout. He took an L in the 12th round. So kudos to him. Us Selector, is there anything else you'd like to add to this podcast? Where people can find you, X, Y, and Z. And
Yeah, definitely.
thanks for coming on once again. This is our resident boxing analyst. Just so you guys know, by the way.
Definitely. Shouts to my guy GNH, aka number one blogger in the building, for letting me on. Yeah, you can check me out on you can find me on YouTube, L Selector, and then L Selector Lifestyle Finance. Also, please um subscribe to my guy GNH channel for all types of media content as well. All types of stuff. Also, if you need some advertisement for your channel or advertisement for stuff anything you're promoting, I don't care what it is. It could damn near be it could be damn near bananas you're selling. You know what I mean? We don't care. Hit my guy GNH. He got an advertisement stuff. He can get you connected with people from all types of all over the four corners of the universe. You see what I'm saying? He's connected definitely, and he'll have your stuff out there if you're looking for anything with advertisement. Also, please, I'm asking you guys to subscribe to my guy GNH's channel. Hit the like button. Also, subscribe to my channel as well. I will not be doing any NBA for the end of this year. So NBA, we're taking a break off of NBA for a bit. So all the people out there wondering where I've been, NBA, you will not see NBA stuff on L Selector Show until January, and when we enter the new year, as well as NFL as well. But we will be continuing on. I think next week we do have a fight with Marcus Brown and
No.
our guy Artur Batividev in Montreal, Quebec. So that fight is going to be for the belts, the 175. They're going to be fighting for the lightweight belt out there in Montreal, Quebec. So shouts to our guy, shouts to our guys out there in Montreal, Canada. Um, Yo, that's about it, man. I thank
Shout
you
out to
very much.
Quebecois, man. You already know what
Yeah,
it is, man.
definitely. I thank you so much, man. Honestly, man. You know what I mean? Like, salute to my guy, GNH. You know what I mean? The WBC and the IBF heavyweight, lightweight titles will be on the line versus Arthur Berturbative in Montreal, Quebec. Russian fighter based out in Montreal, Canada. So check that fight out. Gonna be a good one.
Okay. Guys, you definitely heard it from him before. Last but not least, there's one thing that we didn't share tonight, and I feel like if we don't share it, we'll be terrible. Basically, you guys may forget, but tonight the reason why Top Rank actually had the fight at Madison Square Garden, they usually do. It's an annual thing,
Mhm.
with the Heisman Trophy winner and X, Y, and Z, right? So yeah, I just want to give a big shout out to the Heisman Trophy winner for 2021. Goes to
Shouts to
Bryce
Bryce
Young.
Young. Yeah, Bryce Young.
Big shout out to
Salute.
you, Bryce Young.
Alabama, Mater Day own. Shouts to Mater Day High School out there in California, Alabama. He's a sick ass quarterback, man. Bro, plays excellent from behind. You expect to see him in the NFL very, very soon. By 2023, you should see him in the NFL.
Okay. All right. And that being said, this is number one blog in L Selector. We're bringing you the freshest news in boxing. That was the Richard Commey Lomachenko fight. We out of here, guys. Take care. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. Number one blogger, like, subscribe, comment on L Selector's channel. Make sure you guys subscribe to both of his channels. L Selector for sports and also his lifestyle finance channel. Make sure you guys do that, man. All right, guys, take care of yourselves.